One of the important things in training school counselors is that really we make sure that they're prepared to work with real students in real situations that are going to change from day to day and from year to year. So part of what I try to do is prepare them for even the things that we can't anticipate will be issues. Two ways that I do this. One is by incorporating service learning and really getting them to work with students in real life situations as soon as possible. One example of a service learning component I added was in the Counseling Multicultural and Diverse Populations course, where we partnered with Oakland High School in Lafayette. And they're graduating seniors who have, a myriad of different family situations and different levels of mentoring around going to college, or may even be lacking mentoring. Our students partner with them one-on-one to provide them in a FAFSA night, which preparation to be able to fill out the federal financial aid form, which is complicated. My graduate students, who often have had to fill it out themselves, will joke around about how they're not quite sure how they do it each time. So having them actually have to partner with a high schooler who really is dependent on that to be able to pursue higher education and be able to walk them step by step through that process, with the final kind of celebration at the end where each of those students, each of those seniors, has been able to submit that federal financial aid form and kind of have that one obstacle removed to higher education, is a really powerful experience, both for the Oakland High School students and also for mine. A second way I do that is by also using technology to try to bridge a gap between kind of what my students learn in the classroom and what they might experience in a school setting. So some of the things that we deal with in our day-to-day lives as school counselors are less upbeat. So for example, youth suicide is a really big issue and is something that my students need to be prepared to face. And yet when I role play a student in the classroom, it may be very obvious that I'm role playing someone who's suicidal. And so my students can kind of launch into the aspects that I've taught them without having to really engage as much with that kind of critical thought process and, how do I identify a student at risk and some of those things. So part of what I did was develop, through a small grant through Purdue, a video game that it's called a serious game. So it's designed around specific learning objectives to help train my students how to not only juggle sort of the day-to-day issues that they'll see as a school counselor, but also how to identify and intervene in a student who might be at risk for attempting suicide. So that provides them a chance to apply what they've learned from me kind of through lecture or through notes in a setting where they don't have me right there sort of to help bail them out or tell them what to say or point out different aspects that they need to do. And so by the end of playing this game, they're able to say that they were able to identify a student at risk and properly assess them and figure out what steps need to be taken in order to keep that student safe.